Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick and I'm a top podder on TradingView with over 190k reputation points. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. This is the place to go for high quality, free trading education. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight onto the charts. In this video, I want to speak about gold because at the moment we do have quite interesting price action and structure. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect of this market. Then we will move to the order flow. And by the end of the video, by using the combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here on this pair. Now, starting from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that the market at the moment is testing a very strong area of monthly resistance. From here, all this move to the downside was created. Again, here the market tested its zone and rejected it to the downside. Again, here we had the test and rejection to the downside. And as we're testing once again this same zone, there is a possibility to see a rejection to the downside, which is in fact exactly what the market is currently providing. Now, usually you expect a deeper test of the zone. In this case, the rejection was very sharp and started immediately. So in a situation like this, a bit more bearish price action could be expected, especially after an impulse. If you want to measure the correction and measure the first potential retracement level, you have to take your Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse. And if we do that, we can see how we have more room to the downside before the market will have retraced to the 0.32, which is here, of the Fibonacci taken on the weekly impulse. So there is definitely the possibility to see more bearish price action, at least by looking at the monthly time frame. Going down on the weekly, what do we see? Now, from a weekly perspective, we can see how sharp this correction started compared to the impulse, suggesting that a deeper pullback is definitely a potential play here. And we must also notice how, in general, every market tends to, while it is in an uptrend, go and retest the previous resistance turn support, right? This is how, in general, an uptrend, an ideal uptrend should work. So in this case, the previous weekly resistance turn support is exactly this level. This means that also by looking at the weekly time frame, it appears quite clear that there is more room for some bearish continuation for the market to go and test this previous weekly resistance turn support before then seeing more bullish continuation. Now, if we go down on the daily time frame, what do we see? Now, from a daily perspective, we can notice how we just had a break of structure. In fact, what we must notice is that this level here on the daily, this is previous daily support, which is now turn resistance. Now, in a situation like this, if the market will go and retest this previous daily support and resistance, there is good probability to see more bearish continuation, which is what we already wanted to see by looking at the monthly and weekly timeframes. So, at least at the moment, it would appear like a retracement to this zone would trigger a very high probability for seeing more bearish continuation away from this area. Now, if we go and see what we have when it comes to the commitment of traders, so the COT data, which is what the non-commercials, so the biggest speculators in the market are doing, and we check the data for gold, what we can see is that with the last reports, we have continued to see increases in net positions. However, it is also important to keep in mind that we still don't have the last report. As soon as we will have it, there is a very good probability that we will have seen shorts added inside of this zone. At that point, this move to the downside should be priced into the reports, and we will see a lot of institutional shorting during this move to the downside. But anyway, it's anyway fine that we see net positions increased in the long term, because as we have already seen on the monthly, we already know that even if we will have the correction, there is very good probability of a deeper test of this monthly supply and resistance. That is what we already wanted to see from the beginning. So even though we're getting this correction, we anyway know that more bullish price action should be on the way. So here on the daily time frame, there is definitely a possibility for a healthy, deeper pullback. So if here the market will correct to this previous daily support and resistance, which at that point would also align with 0.3 to 50% and 0.618 Fibonacci retracements, inside of here, we have very strong confluence of resistance. So if the market will correct to this zone, how we could be approaching a potential reversal lower. Now, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily combined with the COT data, those are the best time frames from a directional perspective. However, when it comes to confirmations and entries, the best time frames are the intraday time frames, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what we could be doing is monitoring price action from an intraday perspective during this move to the upside, waiting for the market to shift from an intraday bullish market as we would have to an intraday bearish market. And if the market would shift from an intraday bullish to bearish market and provide to us one of our valid entries, at that point we could be looking for a potential reversal lower for the market to complete this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside. Now, if you don't know what I'm speaking about when I say valid entries and these kind of things, that is all part of the mentorship program, which you can find at transparentfxtrading.com. Here you have the possibility to gain access to my entire course with all the rules of the strategies. You also have the possibility to gain access to one-on-one private mentoring, the VIP market breakdowns with the Telegram signals, the COT data software, which is the one that we used precisely in this analysis, the trading station software, which puts together everything that you need as a trader all in one interface. And if you scroll lower here, past the testimonials, you will see that you will have the possibility to join to gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the checkout process. So definitely looking forward to have you on board, and at least suggest that you go and check this out at transparentfxtrading.com. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button and comment below. It really does support the creation of more free analysis, education, and updates for all of you, and I will see you in my next breakdown.